there, welcome to another wonderful episode of Eye on Port, proudly brought to you by Ghana Community Network Services, Ghana Oil Company Limited and West Blue Consulting. Folks, it is exactly 1 year since the Director General of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Paul Asariansa, was appointed, and Eye on Port decided to engage him to find out how the 1 year has been so far, the challenges he has encountered, and what the future looks like. Please take a listen.
You look at the past 1 year, together with all the uncertainties that you talk about. What would you say that 1 year, since March of 2017 and March of 2018, has been for you?
Well, the first thing that I must say I'm excited about is the stability I had to stamp my feet to establish. You know, I took over in an atmosphere of widespread disenchantment over some of the policy initiatives that characterize the transition. You know, like the mass promotions, we didn't go down well on most of the workers. Yeah. So I had to do some quick reshuffle.
Previously?
Yes.
Okay.
I had to do some quick reshufflement of management at the top level to make sure that we reorganize the system at that level and to get it in readiness for the new change. At the point we had to promote certain staff, we had to lower the status of others, literally meaning demoting some, and we had to make those who had the casuals and the contract staff who had been on contract for about 5 years, we had to make some of them permanent, you know, and we realized that there was stability afterwards.
Oh, there was, in spite of the fact that in your words, people were demoted? Literally.
We had to justify it.
Okay. And they understood.
We had to rationalize it.
Workers' front, that went down well with them.
Absolutely. They understood it. And they, depending on how we communicated those changes to the workforce, they came to appreciate the fact that there was the need for fair play. You know, so when we did some of these things, though it might sound very crazy, but it achieved the results that we wanted. Yeah. We had stability. We drove home a sense of fairness and fair play within the workforce, and they all accepted the changes. I mean, it's also an indication of the goodwill with which they received my appointment and the support that they offered me. Some of the things that we inherited were the illegal and uncoordinated developments along the shorelines.
Yeah.
Yes.
People building illegal ports.
Exactly. You know, at the peril of this country, and the national security was at stake, so many things. We had to move in to establish that order, law and order, in the area of port development, in the area of port operations and things.
So would you say that they've all been put to stop?
To some extent. At least we've been able to let people appreciate the fact that they cannot take the law into their own hands.
What has been done to those who undertook such illegality?
So Buri was sent to court.
Who is that? It's supposed to be one of the developers.
One of the developers who attempted to develop a fishing port. And so he was prosecuted by Fisheries Department. I think they even impounded his vessels that he imported illegally, you know. But the rest, so far we are yet to see. We don't have the locus to prosecute. When we came also, we found the dry dock in a state of need, very bad need. So
that's the Temaship Yard.
Yeah, the Temaship Yard. We immediately invested about 14 million Ghana cedis to purchase some basic equipment that they needed for immediate resuscitation. And the mere association of the facility with the name of GPHA, you know, sparked international wave of confidence. And up to now, I must say that though we have not gotten to the level of efficiency that we need yet, but they are not doing badly at all. I mean, last year was their best performance. Now, we also came to realize that the GPHA shares in the NPS joint venture agreement had been diluted.
Meridian Port Services.
Yes, had been diluted from 30% to 15%, under circumstances that we found unacceptable.
Are you talking about the previous arrangement with Meridian Port Services, that's a small port of MPS, or you're talking about the new port expansion?
That shareholding relationship of 30-70 was transferred into the current arrangement.
Okay, so you're talking about the new Tema Port
expansion arrangement. Okay. You know, it had been diluted from 30% to 15%. Our shares in the MPS joint venture agreement or arrangement had been reduced from 30% to 15%. Meaning that NPS became 85% shareholder and we 15%, and it was unacceptable. We took up the fight to restore our shareholding to 30%, and I must say that now they have agreed to restore the shareholding to original 30%, but we are waiting for the final direction from the economic management team before we can endorse and regularize that abnormality. We also realized that there was the need to establish a financing system that will enhance our ability to leverage development without over-depending on foreign funding. That is to say that we needed to reduce the cycle of borrowing, you know, and put us in a position to leverage a more respectable partnership with the private sector.
Yeah.
Right. So,
which is supposed to be the direction it appears the entire country is going to, because
exactly.
We've all heard the president time and again repeating that let's get to the point where we see a Ghana beyond reliance on aid.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it is clear that political independence without economic sovereignty is meaningless.
Yeah.
And so the president is on course, and we all have to do our best to ensure the success of the implementation of that policy. We have established the Port Infrastructure Development Fund committee to come up with modalities for the establishment of the fund. Our laws give us the authorization to establish that fund for purposes of setting aside something to help in developing infrastructure in the port sector. And indeed, if we are able to do that, we will be able to attract partnership that will be more fruitful, more beneficial, more win-win. And then maybe one of the biggest achievements, I must say, that the ability to establish a clear local content credentials for the industry was very welcoming, though difficult as it was. You know, when
because
we
this
signed,
is an area that you don't often see the Ghanaians taking part.
Absolutely. But we want to put the industry back into the hands of Ghanaians.
And you think Ghanaians are capable?
The Ghanaians are capable. I mean, they must have the experience. They cannot have the experience from
if you don't
Antwerp.
Give them the opportunity.
They cannot acquire that experience from Antwerp. They can't acquire that experience from Las Palmas. They will acquire the experience from Ghana. And we will shepherd them and grow their capabilities to become experienced players to partner us in developing the industry into the future. And so we took that bold step, giant step, and established that relationship with a 100% owned Ghanaian company, Ibistec, whom we awarded the contract to develop the container multipurpose terminal in Takoradi. Throughout the West and Central African sub-region, you will not have 100% owned indigenous companies leveraging major development in the port sector. Yes, but we can set the pace, and that's exactly what we are doing. Almost all our indicators proved very, very positive in performance. For the first time, we have hit the 1 million mark of maturity in the transit business. You know, and we have also
for the first time.
Yes, you know, for the first time after the transit almost collapsed in 2009, following the introduction of the axle load, axle load policy. And then the container handling has also hit the container throughput or container traffic has also hit the 1 million mark of maturity as a port. Yes.
So you've hit double 1 million target, one in the transit business and the other in the container traffic.
Absolutely.
I see.
And we are moving forward. 2018.
What was the figure before then, though? What numbers were we
looking at? A little over 900.
Okay.
A little over 900,000.
In 2016 fiscal.
Yes.
So 2017 end of fiscal.
We hit 1 million.
I see.
1 million tons, 1 million TEUs. But generally, we handled 19 million tons of cargo, and our target for 2017 was 20 million tons, but we hit 21 million tons.
I see.
Yes.
You were then saying that the Port Authority was able to exceed its 2017
we exceeded the 2017 target.
I see.
From 20 million to 21 million. The kind of management interventions that we undertook raised the level of motivation of the staff to work harder and to support management to work harder. And we also did a lot of aggressive promotion on the transit front. We moved to Burkina Faso, which is our main transit corridor, and engaged with the stakeholders very, very openly and in a very cordial manner, led by the board chairman, you may recall. Yes. So a lot of these interventions.
That's why these transit numbers have shot up significantly.
Exactly. The mother of our interventions was the paperless process that was introduced with strong backing and leadership from the vice president. Initially, we had a lot of agencies, security and otherwise, operating in the port, each of them having its own legal instruments, entitling them to do what they were doing, and we had little control over how they were doing their business. And we needed a central authority to whip them into, in line with the proper way of doing things according to international best practice. And so, with the vice president's intervention, we introduced the paperless system, and within a short time, we had government revenue rising.
I see.
And it also introduced a new level of efficiency into our cargo clearance system. It managed to reduce the cost of doing business, though some people have complained about the higher cost in terms of duty payment.
And is that the case, that indeed tariffs or duties have gone up compared to pre-paperless period?
Duties have not gone up in the sense that customs have not revised the duties to be paid. At the same level they are operating. But how the cost went up is a bit baffling in the sense that it brings to the fore the possibility of people being able to cut corners in the payment of the duty. But now, with the paperless regime, you cannot have direct contact with anybody to negotiate anything. And so, the true value of what people may be paying is being revealed by the paperless system. So that is the possibility.
So is that to admit that it appears that we are seeing general sort of increment in the duties that people regularly pay?
I don't want to disbelieve what the traders are saying. At the same time, to the reality is that the duties have not been increased.
I see.
You understand? And so
not from the Port Authority, not from the Port Authority, nor any other institution.
Not from the customs.
I see.
One information we had, which was later verified to be true, was that some of the operators were escalating, or they were forging the cost of doing business in the port. Because they have access to the paperless system, they can print the invoices and then doctor those invoices and present them to the consignees.
Out of the paperless processes,
exactly.
Now the duties have gone up.
Exactly.
Even though that is not the case.
That is not the case. To the extent that we've even arrested some of the people doing that kind of fraud.
And then now, if you have a message to the stakeholders you work with, particularly the internal ones and also the external ones who patronize the services?
The staff, in the first place, we are committed to the welfare of our staff. Some time back, when I was in Takoradi as a marketing and customer service manager, I happened to be the head of a committee that allocates what I will call ghettos. The ghettos in Takoradi to the staff.
You call their accommodation ghettos?
They are ghettos.
Because they are not, you don't think they fit them?
They don't befit the workforce. Hard as they work, working to turn around this economy, they don't have to be living under those conditions.
It means that they will be relying heavily on you to change the status.
I told them
because you are so much aware of this.
I told them when I was in Takoradi that if I become the director of the port one day, I will knock down all those ghettos.
I see.
And today
you are.
I'm not just the director of port, the director general. Yeah. So nothing stops me from knocking them down. And we are going to knock them down. Yes, to make sure that we give our workforce a meaningful life. You understand? And it's not going to be in Takoradi alone. Takoradi and Tema as well. Some of the facilities in Tema, will knock them down and replace them with some high-rising, apartment
like
buildings.
The beautiful ones the Navy folks have done for their staff.
Exactly. So, in addition to being committed in enhancing their package in terms of their take-home, we are also committed in enhancing their welfare by giving them and their families decent accommodation. Now, to the entire stakeholder community, we are committed, as GPH has always been, we are committed to efficient service delivery that will reduce the cost of doing business, that will make our services more competitive, or most competitive in the sub-region, that will ensure expedited delivery of their cargoes to their doorstep and make our country very attractive to foreign direct investment.
So that was the Director General Paul Asariansa helping us to digest the 1 year of his administration so far. Eye on Port returns after the break.
Hello. Good morning. This is Samantha Wendy. I am sending a purchase order from SA2 Ventures International. Our policy for new supplies is 2 containers to start with, but you must deliver within 30 days.
Don't worry at all. I'm going to get you the 4 containers within 30 days or less. Bye.
To get his pineapple slices from his country to his clients overseas, Mr. Appiah and his representatives have to complete a number of regulatory compliance procedures to various international trade stakeholders.
Hey, Baba, what's going on? Get it right? I mean, how?
Using single window, Mr. Appiah has completed all his international trade procedures through one portal. He has registered his company information, applied for the necessary permit, certificates and licenses, and all that remains is for him to get a text alert for clearance and movement of goods. And that's how simple facilitating international trade could be in a single window environment. You can offer competitive services to your trading partners in China, America, even here, in a simpler, faster, and cost-effective way. Single window. The only way to Ghana's economic growth is in our hands.
When cleaning your vehicle by valeting, steaming, waxing, or polishing, make sure the engine is also sound. Servicing your vehicle with GOIL synthetic oil and any quality GOIL oil massages the engine, removes deposit, protects it from wear and tear for longer lasting performance, and makes your vehicle feel pampered. Made for diesel and super engines. Remember, after every 15,000 kilometers of enjoying your ride, service your engine with GOIL synthetic oil.
GOIL is a champion. That's why I, Azuma Nelson, 3 times world boxing champion and a patriot, always choose GOIL.
Ashene Pankasa. GOIL, good energy.
Welcome back from the break. Up next, local news around the port.
The Ghana Navy plays an important role in protecting the territorial waters of the country. Effective collaborations between the Ghana Navy, Port Security and Ghana Maritime Authority have led to the arrest of pirates in Ghana's waters and protected the waters, leading to the nation's enviable position as one of the most secured waters and waterfronts. So far, Ghana's anchorage has been described as very safe due to effective patrols by the Ghana Navy, Marine Police and the Port Security. Despite these successes, the Ghana Navy is bedeviled with several challenges, and until now, lack of befitting accommodation was a principal problem of the naval service. In a bid to tackle this inadequate accommodation, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia, has commissioned the Naval Base Housing Project Phase 2 in Tema New Town. The facility has 368 rooms, 23 blocks, with 8 being 3-bedroom apartments and 15 2-bedroom apartments. The facility also comes with a multi-purpose sports and playing ground for personnel and families of the security services. The Vice President assured the security services of government's commitment to provide decent accommodation in order to ensure their operational efficiency.
The government of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has a good plan for the housing needs of our security personnel. The plan is anchored on an overall commitment to improving the living conditions of our security personnel.
The Minister for Defense, Dominic Nitiwol, says the housing project will solve the accommodation challenges of personnel who live in rented apartments all over Accra and Tema, which makes it difficult to mobilize personnel at short notice to respond effectively to emergencies.
Let me state that this government is determined to complete all outstanding projects that we have come to meet. This project is one of the projects we came to meet, and that is why we will not abandon it. We have completed it. Same thing with the SNIT projects, 38 of them. Another 42 projects of the VTB loan would also be completed by this government. And all this is to ensure that the operational efficiency and effectiveness of the Ghana Armed Forces is enhanced once they get good places to sleep and to lay their heads for them and their families.
As part of its SRC Week celebrations, the Regional Maritime University has marked its annual International Day to commemorate the unity in diverse cultures demonstrated at the university. The Regional Maritime University was established to provide students within the West African sub-region requisite higher learning experience for the maritime industry. Hence, students from diverse backgrounds and cultures within West African countries like Senegal, Gambia, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and Ghana have interacted, lived, and exchanged ideas at the Regional Maritime University since its establishment in 2007. The RMU's International Day event was characterized by students donning clothes that exhibited their various traditions, background, and cultures, as well as native performances. The Pro Vice Chancellor Jethro Brooks, who chaired the program, noted that the school will continue to simultaneously train maritime administrators and nautical operators while upholding the rich cultural essence that has been the hallmark of the university.
We are not only the university training seafarers and island expertise for the maritime industry, but we are also a university with rich diversity of culture. It is therefore my expectation that you will be entertained by our students who come from various African countries as they showcase their rich, diverse culture of their places of origin.
The Director of Finance at the Ministry of Transport, Emmanuel Noom, in a speech read on behalf of the Deputy Minister of Transport, Daniel Titus Glover, encouraged the university community to continue to sustain the tolerance for cultures. He also urged the students to take advantage of the opportunities the institution offers and apply them to contemporary issues confronting the African maritime domain.
With the diversity that the university provides, students should learn to tolerate each other. By embracing and appreciating the cultural diversities of your respective countries, we will live together in harmony as Africans. As stakeholders, students have the responsibility of not only studying, but more importantly, coming out with solutions to problems facing the maritime industry in the wake of global technological changes.
Ghana's foremost oil marketing company, and CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year GOIL has trained its GOIL Cafe shop operators on how to effectively manage their shops to be the best in the country. About 80 operators within Accra were trained on how to improve on rendering their services to customers patronizing the GOIL Cafe shops. According to the Merchandise and Business Development Manager of GOIL, Maureen Ama-Owu says it is GOIL's aim to achieve international standards in doing business. Hence, the introduction of the GOIL Go Card payment system, which can be accessed from the corporate affairs offices, regional or zonal offices across the country.
We hope to achieve an international standards of doing business, of assessing our customers, so that when it comes to even how payments are done in our shops, we've even introduced the Go Card system in the shop. So these days you can come into our shops and then buy with a card. If you come to our corporate affairs office or any of the regional offices, you can sign on our Go Card and then be a part of it.
She entreated the general public to patronize products from GOIL Cafe shops, since they do have varieties of products, ATM machines in the forecourt, fuels in the car care section that will soon be rolled out for customers to buy GOIL lubricants, shampoos, car wipers and other products.
And all customers, the general public, it's not just about the motorists. Anybody can access our forecourts. Our forecourts have our ATM facilities. We have our normal fuels there, which has been activated. Our fuel is powered by XP3. If you come to our shops, we have all array of products there. We are even now going to add car care section to it. So it's a full car care section, which is going to roll out soon.
International port news next.
The IMB Piracy Reporting Center says pirates armed with guns boarded a product tanker approaching the Bonny Fairway, Nigeria on March 6, 2018. As informed, the crew raised the alarm and activated ship security alert systems before mustering in the citadel. The Nigerian Navy was notified and patrol boats were immediately deployed to assist the unnamed vessel. As all crew were in the citadel, the pirates were unable to take any hostages, according to IMB ICC. The dry bulk fleet is now worth more than the combined value of the tanker fleet, leapfrogging container ships as well, according to the vessel valuation expert Vessel's Value. The surge in the value of the dry bulk assets comes on the back of soft returns that plagued the market over the past couple of years, which encouraged scrapping and drove ton-mile demand increase. According to Maersk Line, fire has been reported on board the Maersk Kensington while the 6,188 TEU container ship was en route from Salalah, Oman towards Suez. As informed, the fire erupted in one of the containers in a cargo hold of the ship on March 16, 2018. All 26 crew members are safe and accounted for, and the fire is reported to be contained. A full investigation into the matter is expected to ensue. Oslo-listed ship owner MPC Container Ships ASA continues its ambitious fleet build-up campaign with the addition of 5 new feeder container ships. The total purchase price for the vessels is $41.9 million and will be settled in cash. MPC Container Ships expects to take over the vessels in the first half of 2018, lifting the total fleet of the company to 64 feeder units.
When cleaning your vehicle by valeting, steaming, waxing or polishing, make sure the engine is also sound. Servicing your vehicle with GOIL synthetic oil and any quality GOIL oil massages the engine, removes deposit, protects it from wear and tear for longer lasting performance, and makes your vehicle feel pampered. Made for diesel and super engines. Remember, after every 15,000 kilometers of enjoying your ride, service your engine with GOIL synthetic oil.
We are a champion. That's why I, Azuma Nelson, 3 times world boxing champion and a patriot, always choose GOIL.
Ashinipankasa. GOIL, good energy.
Schedules of vessels in the ports, those at anchorage and those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate next. it for this week's edition of Eye on Ports. Thank you very much for watching, and thanks to the entire crew.